Alright, 2v2 replay analysis for Duxetik, gold free. They're looking for advice on rotations, positioning, and etc. Should be nice and easy. Let's get going. Alright. So, kickoff. Main thing I see, and this happens with a lot of lower level players, is not using their flip on that first boost. Definitely one thing you should do. I'll cover that at the end. But yeah, definitely one thing to consider. And that'll actually be the first goal by the looks of it. So yeah, teammate probably whiffed it, and yeah, not much you can do about that after you screwed up the kickoff. So just trying to work on that, make it a bit better. So you grab boost, fair enough. Main problem though here is that you rush up way too far. You should be waiting to see what your teammate and the opponent does first before rushing in like this. As a result, you kind of waste a lot of boosts, and yeah. It's a goal in the end, but it was a very weird way of doing it. In the end it's gold, but can be done better. So yeah, main problem is that you rush in, but you do get the ball eventually. Bit lucky with it, but you know. And again, pretty fortunate here because GLXY, your opponent in goal, wasn't actually in goal. He was sitting up on top of a wall for no good reason, and then does this. So in the end, you got a bit fortunate. That wasn't really any skill on your part. It took you a very long time to set that up and all your boost. So, yeah. Again, using your flip, would have been able to get that. You would have actually been able to get a clean hit, as you would have been a lot quicker. But it's a goal anyway, because you set up the kickoff pretty well, so, yeah. Coming a pretty high scoring match though, overall, and this looks like this will be another goal. Main problem here is that you, again, rush up too far forward without really a plan, you get dunked on. And yeah, it's a goal. So, so you go for boost here. The thing is, what you should be doing instead of immediately rushing forward like this, is turning around. So that way, you'll be protecting the goal instead of rushing forward, not protecting the goal. Try and stay a bit back a little bit longer when you collect boosts on kickoff. Basically. It's 4 goals in 30 seconds. It was very quick. So you go for boost again. That was a very good save actually. It was a good read to see that was almost going in. And that actually might have gone in. If it may have come down off the crossbar, so. But you make a very good save, and that forces them to put a shot to sidewall, and that was a good clear again. That was definitely your hit, I'd say. So, decent sequence of play, and that's going to be a goal. That was pretty good pass long ball. So, that 17 seconds of play there was pretty good, I would say, from you. Definitely the best spin so far. So, kick off again, it's the same deal, just use your flip here. And make it 2 flip and nice and easy. But you go for boost. Teammate makes a pretty decent hit from it. It forces the opponents to think about it. And that was good to wait. So, last 40 seconds, 50 seconds, hasn't been too shabby at the moment. This hit, though, wasn't the greatest. Try and use your second jump here. That would be what I would be encouraging. So that way you don't lose as much boost as you did. And you might have been able to get a better hit as well. You make a shot attempt, I'd say you're pretty quick on the draw, seeing as your teammate and your opponent whiffed it. You're okay there. Teammate just got there first. Got it away in time. That was fine to rotate like that, at least you didn't hit the ball, so that could have easily screwed up otherwise. This is fine to wait, it wasn't on target, but your opponent's still for you, so whatever. It is what it is. You go for boost, alright. See what you do here. pretty decent save attempt, but it's not as good as your first one, mainly because you jumped too early. The thing that characterized your first save was that you jumped at the exact right time so that you get to the ball as it gets to the location. Here, you jump too early, so you're jumping before it gets to you. So, way before it gets to you. So that way you just hit it straight, you go past it and you hit it straight to the opponent, and that's just a goal. So that's just the small margin of error really between it being a long-term save that results in a counter-attack and a save that is just temporary and results in a goal anyway. But we'll go back to kickoff. It's pretty much the same deal here. Use your flip on the first boost there. You get beaten on there because you didn't really have the speed. But you grab the boost. We'll see what you do here now. Again, try and use your second jump there, or if not, use your flip. We'll see how long you had. Okay, so you had plenty of time to use your flip. Just use your flip there then. If you don't want to use your second jump, but definitely try to use your second jump first and foremost. Now it's good patience to wait until it came alongside your car. I would have probably gone along with that a bit more and just let it roll past me. So that way, if it had rolled past you, one of your opponents is in your own goal, rotating back. The other guy's in midfield. You have all the momentum then to make another play. But now it's stuck for a little bit longer than it could have been. And you have to waste a little bit of boost to get to the ball now. You do get a decent enough 50-50. It goes up the wall. And not the best center. Unfortunately, your teammate rotated back anyway. So no matter how good the center was, it wasn't going to happen. But yeah, it was definitely a bit weak, and it just sets it up for the opponents, but they're very late to it. Like, they had all the time in the world to react to this, and they just didn't. This guy was wrong. Okay, so he was just chasing after you up the wall. He wasn't actually doing anything useful, so... It just a bit of ball chasing there really involved. It's not your teammate's ball to go for, fair enough, but really once you see a teammate goes first, you should just pull out. You're not getting this either. You just kind of follow the ball instead of, yeah, and again, just a bit of ball chasing from your teammate. But again, you're making it worse by jumping for it as well. You should just be pulling away here, not going for a ball you'll never hit. Because in the end, you're just making it worse, and you do rotate to the wrong side of the field here as well. What you should be doing once you pick up this boost is go right to where Hydro is right now, instead of rotating along this wall, because the problem is, if your teammate has to clear it out, he will hit it directly into you, and that means he'll stay in and just create another opportunity. It's just a very precarious situation, basically. But you hold yourself back this time, so you did take a very long time to react to that, though. This was probably the wrong time to be too cautious. Like, you haven't been cautious in a lot worse situations, and you do it that time, and it's just very unusual picking up situations. And you get bumped there. The main problem is that you don't turn around fully. You need to be turning yourself around fully so you can get full power out of that. You just get the back of your car hit because you basically presented the widest target possible. And again, teammate just ball chasing the hell out of it. You do get an aerial, but main problem is that you come in too early again. You don't let the ball come to you. You try to meet the ball, and as a result, you waste all your boosts, and it's a very weak aerial. It gives it to the opponents, and they almost score. Again, chasing after boosts instead of getting the ball first. Or more importantly, positioning yourself to get the ball. You should be going into goal, not worrying about boosts, which is what both you and your teammate does. And it almost rolls in. Again, like, you're very lucky this isn't equal right now, and that you still have the 1-goal lead. But that was a good clear though. Puts it out into space, you have time to regather, grab boost, and get ready for the next push. Which you do pretty well, and you get it around both opponents, and that's a goal. So get and kick off are pretty standard. You wait, so that's fine, and you get a pretty good challenge to boot. So we'll see what you do here. You take it up the wall, which isn't the best move. What you really should be doing is just trying to take this infield. Try and pass your teammate up infield instead of taking up the wall. It's very easy to just default to the wall, but sometimes you just got to take a bit more of a risk and put it infield. Because the middle of the field is critically unused in at lower ranks, so and even a higher rank sometimes. So you try to go for this hit, but again, you don't use double jump, which is something you should definitely be making use of. But in the end, it spits out to the teammate who scores, and that's the end of the match there. That match was okay overall. I didn't really have heaps of complaints from the gold perspective of it. There were some problems like the lack of double jump aerials, the kickoffs. I'll quickly run through the kickoffs. Using a flip, it's really not that difficult a thing. Most of the situations you just have to front flip. Like for this one though, you have to run over the boost and then diagonal. We'll turn off unlimited. You just need to do that, and you'll see I'll save. Like if I want to, I can save some boost on top of it. But for these, obviously, you can't quite, so you can do a diagonal flip, and that means I go supersonic as I hit it, or you can just do a front flip. And it's quicker than what you're doing, but you still save a fair amount of boost in the process. There's also the thing with double jump aerials. What is there? Maybe this one would help. Yeah, you definitely need to get used to the fact of double jumping. Okay, so these make you double jump, basically. Don't try to score just yet, just try and hit the ball. Like, obviously, I'll try to score because I know I can hit these. But for you, you're just practicing getting used to your double jumps. So, I'll link this pack in the description, Novice Aerials by Wayprotein. Wayprotein is a very good pack maker. Got a lot of very good beginner packs. So yeah, basically you're just trying to, like while I'm trying to shoot on goal, you're just trying to get used to double jumping a bit more. So it's very good as a tool to get used to double jumping. Especially for you, seeing as you seem pretty set in ways of like just using single jump. But really that won't get you that far anymore. So just try and practice double jumping, getting up to the ball and then hitting it. So yeah, that was probably a bit overdone. Okay. Yeah, I can only use a single jump here. That would work. Actually, no, double jump works just fine. Almost get a double tap, but yeah. This pack, what is it, 18 shots? Is very good to use, in my opinion. Take it with what you will, but you can practice double jumps. You can even practice passing in field if you want to get fancy, and you start getting better at it. Like not just shots, like aerials can a very versatile thing. But yeah, just trying to get used to your double jumps, basically. It is. But yeah, that's basically the easiest thing you can. That easiest advice I can give is that. Let's see what else. Rotations. Honestly, rotations weren't too terrible, if I would be honest. You're well on the way to being a pretty decent rotationally minded player, but there were obviously still some issues, namely the rotating back stuff. You only made 1 or 2 mistakes in this area, but nevertheless 1 or 2 mistakes is 1 or 2 too many, so definitely want to cut them out. Mainly, it was if the ball's coming back, you were rotating on the same side of the ball. I pretty much pointed that out, but the reason is that is if your teammate's in goal and the ball's rolling up this wall here, and your teammate wants to clear it out and you're on the wall, he might just hit it straight into you by accident, and you might catapult it straight into center, and that's an easy goal for the opponents. Basically, you want to be rotating on the opposite side of the ball. And that means you can have a wider angle, and if you have to save it, you have plenty of time to react to it. And you have plenty of options to hit it to. You don't just have the one option to hit it to, it's just basically making it as easy for yourself as possible. In the end, it's not about making it as hard for yourself as possible. That is not the objective to this game. It is making it as easy for yourself as possible to play this game and play it well. Because you don't want to be putting yourself in the most difficult situation if you can possibly help it. That's pretty much the main thing you should be thinking of. How can you make this easier for yourself and not hard? That means taking shortcuts, giving yourself wider angles, giving yourself faster recovery times, using double jump aerials, using flips sometimes, just being more creative. Like, it's all in the pursuit of making it easier to play. And easier to score goals, get passes, manage your boost, all of that good stuff. In terms of positioning, yeah, just try and stay middle a bit more, I would say. Like, again, you weren't too bad, but definitely one thing to keep in mind is just trying to keep yourself middle a bit more. Trying to avoid the walls, if you can, because, like I said, walls in this game are very much overused. The infield is very much underused, and it should be used more. Just as a way to get yourself familiar with the infield before you absolutely need it. I think that's the best thing you can do. Like, I used to default to walls all the time, and I wish I'd known infields earlier, because they're very useful. And the better you get at dribbling infield, passing infield, the better you'll get at being a teammate. Better you'll get at positioning in rotation. But yeah, I think that is pretty much everything I've covered there. Like I said, I'll put the pack, that Novice Aerials pack, in the description. That way you can play it and practice it yourself, and practice specifically your double jump aerials. That's the main thing you want to learn off of it. Just to get better at those, so that you make it as easy for yourself as possible. But yeah, I would say it's pretty much it for this. If you need any more clarification, feel free to DM either me or any of the other coaches if I'm not on. I'm sure they're more than happy to help. And I definitely am. But until then, goodbye.